Hot Minute was released in 1995. Now, something did happen before the release of this album. When Red Hot Chili Peppers released their fifth album, Blood Sugar Sex Magik, it ended up becoming a worldwide success, which obviously in turn made Red Hot Chili Peppers pretty big by that point. Now, when the band was in mid-tour to promote Blood Sugar Sex Magik, guitarist John Frusciante quit the band because he was feeling uncomfortable with the band's status as well as Blood Sugar Sex Magik's popularity. So as a result, Red Hot Chili Peppers had to find another guitarist, and they found Dave Navarro. Now, as fortunate as that may sound, there is a bit of a flip side. It kinda changed the Red Hot Chili Peppers' sound when compared to past albums, which some people did not like. And I will be talking about this album, and I will tell you whether I like the overall sound or not. One Hot Minute begins with the track Warped, which I can tell right away that Anthony Kiedis wrote this song as a reaction to his drug use, which unfortunately at the time, back in 1994, he was going back to doing drugs after being 4 or 5 years of being sober. This track puts the album at a great start, but I do find its ending out of place. What follows is one of the album's standout tracks, Aéroplane.
I like pleasure spiked with pain, and music is my aeroplane. It's my aeroplane.
Some may not like this album, but I do dig this track. Deep Kick starts off with some narration, but I could care less about the rest of the track because it drags.
My friends are so depressed.
My Friends is kind of a depressing track if you really think about what the lyrics are implying. As for Coffee Shop, I think it's a decent funky track. I really got nothing more to say about it.
You're homophobic, redneck dick. Big and tough and macho, you can kick my ass.
The one track that I find to be the most amusing in this album is P. What follows is one big mob which did not leave that much of an impression on me. I thought it was boring. It drags. I don't care for it. Walkabout was pretty good for about 60% of the track, but it also drags.
Guess now you know I love you so.
Thankfully, Tearjerker comes around and did leave a bit of an emotional impression. However, what comes after is my least favorite track of this album, the titular track, One Hot Minute. This track bored the shit out of me. Not to mention, during the last minute, guitarist Dave Navarro was hitting the same fucking notes as if he was building up to some big climax. But there wasn't much of a climax going for it. Therefore, the last minute was one wasted minute. fucking hate this track.
I'm falling into grace with you. I'm falling into you.
Fallen Into Grace has some catchy lyrics, and considering how I hate the previous track, I am so glad I found Fallen Into Grace an enjoyable track. The penultimate track, Shallow Be Thy Game, is forgettable. One Hot Minute concludes with the track Transcending, which does start off pretty soft, but it does get heavier as the track progresses. And I do think the heaviness is the track's payoff. And it does give this album a solid conclusion after its ups and downs. Oh boy. One Hot Minute is available on CD, digital retail, and vinyl. It is also available to stream on Spotify. Overall, One Hot Minute is commendable for its approach. Some of the tracks in this album drag, which is one of the problems with this album. This album does contain a few of what I would call essential tracks: Aéroplane, Tearjerker, and Transcending. If you did not like the majority of One Hot Minute, hey, these three tracks I think were the ones that stood out. As for the overall sound of this album, I've noticed that One Hot Minute sounds a little less funky than previous Red Hot Chili Peppers albums. And I can understand why some people are split about One Hot Minute. But personally, I think One Hot Minute is fine on its own. Sure, nowhere on par with Mother's Milk and Blood Sugar Sex Magik, but I don't think this album deserves the hate as some people make it out to be after Blood Sugar Sex Magik came out. It's just that Blood Sugar Sex Magik, I think, is an album that is a tough act to follow. One Hot Minute gets a B+. If you like this review, feel free to hit the like button. And if you want to follow my channel, please feel free to hit the subscribe button. And if you want to request me any bands or music artists that you would like me to review in the future, please place those requests down in the comments section down below. And as always, you are welcome to leave me a comment if you feel so inclined. And thanks for watching. And I will see you in the next review.
Fuck you, asshole.